Those Were the Days is filmed before a live internet audience.
Hello, TV friends and family. Do we like each other? Maybe, I don't know, but we're getting married anyway. Because we're a family that's getting blended. I don't know where to go with this. This was a difficult show to figure out. But what I do know is that I've got two beautiful children here with me because we're missing one of them. My brother from another mother is Travis.
Cha, dudes, little dudes. I love this show, man. Ha.
And the smart one who should go to law school, it's Audie.
Whoa, like I didn't even have an intro ready. So like I'm totally doing the same one. How about that? Watch out for those fuzzy bologna sandwiches, by the way.
Dude.
Oh my goodness. You only heard two voices tonight because we are missing Amy, who I'm sure would also be doing a Cody impression if given the opportunity, because you kind of have to. Like, it just sets itself up. Cody is effectively Bill and Ted in one person, which is pretty great. But if you're wondering who Cody is, then you don't know why you're here. And you're here because, well, for one thing, you love classic TV, and maybe you heard one of us tell you the show's great and you should come by sometime. And the other reason is maybe you Googled step by step and our SEO is working because we're doing the show step by step, classic TGIF sitcom from back in the day. My history with Step by Step is I watched every episode because I was a TGIF kid. That was what came on Friday nights. That's what my dad and mom sat down to watch. My mom loved this show. I have the fondest memories of my mom. When my mom gets tickled and laughs at something, like it just her entire countenance is laughter. Like everything about her is laughing. And there was a cold open with this show one time where Cody took a big giant spoonful of vanilla ice cream and he eats it and it gives him brain freeze and he just reacts in such a way. My mom was on the floor. And still to this day, when I think about my mom laughing about the brain freeze thing, I can't this show just lives in my heart in the best of ways.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it's one of those moments from classic TV that really resonate, is when you're as a family, you're laughing, or you're watching MacGyver blow something up and your dad goes, "That's great. Let's do more of that." You know, that kind of stuff. But where does Step by Step land in the classic TV history of YouTube? We'll start with Travis.
So like you, I was a TGIF kid. My mom worked for the local ABC affiliate for a little while, so I really got into it then. This was a show that came along, right as I was kind of the perfect age to be watching this and sort of enjoy, because it's a very simple premise and it's a very cookie cutter type of show. Like, I remember it probably better than the show really was, just because it was part of the Friday night lineup. This is the show for me. When I think of, if I hear the name Patrick Duffy, I think of Step by Step.
Yes.
So this is what I remember him from. But I enjoyed it. I always liked Step by Step quite a bit.
Yeah. The bar didn't seem like it was very high back then for like what you needed in terms of actors on a show. Right. Acting quality. It was just, can you deliver the lines with decent timing, and can we get the live audience to laugh? Because as a live audience laughs, the people at home will laugh, and it'll all seem like we're having a great time for cheap, which I think was the most important part for the studios. Audie, where did Step by Step land for you?
Oh, I'm absolutely in the same boat as you boys. Like, TGIF was my jam. Definitely remember watching the heck out of this. I definitely remember having a crush on Stacey Keenan,
of course,
Dana, because I watched My Two Dads before this one, so which we still haven't covered yet, but I'm sure that's coming.
It's coming.
Like, yeah, love the heck out of this show. Love the heck out of the gags. I still remember the food gags with this show. Like, talking about this episode, you're talking about the ice cream. I remember how Patrick Duffy and JT always had chocolate milk. They take a swig of milk, take the chocolate syrup, just dump it in their mouth, just shake their head back and forth.
I remember that.
Oh yeah,
that was great. This
this
show, it had so much 90s in it. I mean, it is a time capsule.
Oh yeah.
Which, like, you talk about the chocolate milk. I think I learned that from Step by Step. Was the milk and the chocolate chip in your mouth at the same time, or chocolate syrup, and you shake it, and then ta-da! There was so much fun stuff that happened, and it was such a. This show was like it was a Brady Bunch remake, in effect. I mean, it was a blended family. The thing that set this apart from Brady Bunch, I think, was we didn't worry about 3 lovely ladies with golden hair and 3 brown-headed boys. It was 2 families with boys and girls, both different hair, different attitudes. I think there was a little bit of Carol's kids were Carol, played by Suzanne Summers, was there. Her kids were a little more refined, or maybe not as rough around the edges. Whereas Frank, played by Patrick Duffy, his kids were much more driving big trucks, going in the dirt, playing baseball.
Yeah, they were Frank was the blue collar guy, and he had his blue collar kids, right? They worked on cars. Al was, Alicia, Al, and she was very much a tomboy. Yeah. Whereas Carol's kids were more refined. And it is interesting that we had the perfect matching puzzle pieces, right? Because you had Frank with his 2 boys and a girl. You had Carol with her 2 girls and a boy. And so because you have to have that balance, of course. What is it? We don't have a housekeeper,
right?
So we get Cody.
Cody is our Alice,
and we have I think Carol's mom was also a cast member, if I remember right, for a while. But it is interesting the way that they played off of each other. Stacey Keenan, you mentioned Audie. That was a big one because I loved My Two Dads, and so. That was the person when this show started that I recognized.
Absolutely. Yeah.
See, I didn't remember Stacey Keenan at all because I didn't watch My Two Dads, but I still had a crush on Stacey Keenan. I don't know what I think it's because she, out of all of them, the critics didn't love this show. Just spoiler alert, I'll get to that in a little bit. But one of the people they did love was Stacey Keenan because they said her timing was great and she could really go toe to toe with anybody, and it was convincing and it was fun. So I think that might be the reason that she seemed the most attractive, because she seemed the most capable. So you just ended up with a crush on her.
She was one of the more veteran actors of the kids.
Sure.
Yeah.
And came in with that gravitas that I don't think she understood. Like, I've listened to, Stacey Keenan and Christine Lacken, who played Al, they have a podcast now going back talking about this stuff.
No way.
And it's really interesting to hear them talking about it. And they both are just like Stacey didn't realize how amazing of an actress she was at the time. And Christine Lacken's like, we all looked up to you. You did amazing, that kind of thing. And it's funny to hear some of that.
Well, she's also the oldest of them, so that plays into it. Christine Lacken as Al, by the way, was the other one I had a crush on.
She was great.
Yeah. She was the tomboy, and the really the ridiculously good-looking tomboy.
Right.
Of course.
So that always helps. But no, Stacey would have been the veteran actor, even though Brandon Call as JT had been acting for 8 or 9 years before this series started as a child actor. He had been on season 1 of Baywatch. He was a kid on there that then they recast when it went to syndication, but he'd been acting for a while, but Stacey Keenan had been doing a sitcom prior to this. Yeah. And so she knew the world of kind of doing that stuff. But I can understand where in the middle of it, she wouldn't really realize that. And yet the other kids kind of looking up to her.
Right.
So.
Oh, for sure. It was, the whole cast did a great job. I think it's interesting. I can go down through kind of who we had here. So the show, it starred Stacey Keenan, Angela Watson, and Christopher Castle as Carol's children, Dana, Karen, and Mark, respectively. Christopher Castile is someone I always recognize because of Beethoven. Because he was in Beethoven, Beethoven Second, and this, and he's always the blonde nerdy kid with the red glasses. I don't know why red glasses were popular on blonde nerdy kids, but flipping Egon in the real Ghostbusters had red glasses. Yeah. So it must have been a thing at the time. Sally Jesse Raphael had red glasses. And then of course we've got Brandon Call, Christine Locken, and Josh Byrne playing Frank's kids, JT, Al, and Brendan. and then Sasha Mitchell playing Frank's nephew Cody. Out of Frank's kids, it seemed like I don't remember as many episodes with Brendan as a focus. Like it's almost like he always faded into the background around.
Yeah.
He was always
Al and
a
JT.
sidekick.
Yeah. But you got, I think maybe Christopher Castile playing Mark was just a better actor overall, so they just used him more.
He's also like the nerdy kid like that. He had a more distinct look.
Yeah.
Right.
And more of a caricature. So he's closer to like Urkel.
Right. Yeah.
So there's
Then,
more to play with there than
yeah.
just a normal kid in the family.
Yeah, because Family Matters was huge at the time too. These shows were both huge. And
funny thing was, and I did not realize this, but there was a crossover in like the second episode of this show, because I was looking at some of the first season synopsis, and the second episode of the show, Urkel is Al's date to like a junior prom or something.
Oh, nice.
Or junior high dance or whatever. And I don't remember that at all.
No.
So I kind of want to go back and find that episode and watch it.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those things where the producers are like, how do we get people to watch this show? Can we get Urkel on it? Bring him up.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, this show was not well liked by the critics early on, which is shocking to me because it ran forever and I loved it. My family loved it. Everyone loved it. But reviews of the pilot episode were consistently negative. The Los Angeles Times called it plain awful. And USA Today described it as demonically slick junk food. Other critics declared it to be the worst new show of the season. And it was, of course, compared a lot of times to Brady Bunch. It was compared to a show called Brooklyn Bridge, which premiered the same day, as representing the worst and best of television, respectively. So Step by Step is the worst television. Brooklyn Bridge is the best.
Which is crazy to think of now, because find me 10 people and ask them if they remember the show Brooklyn Bridge, and I'm telling you right now, 9 people are not going to know what show you're talking about.
I'm one of those people. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I didn't know
But we all remember Step by Step because it ran for 160 episodes. So critics may not have liked it, but it was popular enough to keep going.
It was. And I mean, not everyone hated it. We have Jean Rosenbluth. I don't know what she was writing for. Oh, Variety. Was more positive, calling it a modestly amusing, occasionally heartwarming show, despite its utter lack of originality, and argued that while it wasn't comparable to Shakespeare, neither was the Brady Bunch.
And I think that's the thing, right? Like, it's not, this show didn't break new ground. No. It is your mixed family. It is the Brady Bunch in the 90s, but there's nothing wrong with that because it didn't do anything wrong either. It didn't do anything poorly. It just was very middle of the road. And, you know, you had your very special episodes. You had your heartwarming moments. It had a good message.
Yeah.
But it was, at the end of the day, just kind of, it was there. Yeah. But it was enjoyable. And it works that you have Patrick Duffy and Suzanne Summers as your two leads because they have a ton of charisma.
They're oozing charisma. The show was at a perfect time slot as part of TGIF. You were gonna watch it. Like we were going to watch TGIF and whatever came on because it's Friday. That's what's happening. That was a magical time for TV. I mean, we had all kinds of shows come through that block, and we watched all of them. Everybody sat down to watch it. It just became part of your routine.
Not everything needs to be great, compelling TV. Sometimes it's good to have just a good junk food show.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to laugh. And that's okay. And that's what this show did for people. And it can be the Brady Bunch. Maybe the idea of recycling ideas was not as popular in the 90s. We didn't have as much to work with, I guess. There was now, I mean, everything's recycled. How many hospital shows? How many cop shows have we done? And we figured out like it's not about the show's premise, it's about character development and you know, kind of the interesting takes we can use with those sides. Like House, for instance, is a hospital show, but it's about a drug addicted doctor in the limp who's effectively Sherlock Holmes. Yeah,
it's Sherlock Holmes in a hospital with and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But yeah, no, that was the thing with a show like this. But I agree with Audie. I think having some just okay, kind of inoffensive junk food shows. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Family Matters is that same show.
Yeah.
But it also had some social commentary things to tackle based on its premise, whereas this one doesn't necessarily. But also, I like that this was normalizing the mixed family again.
Yes. It was the early 90s. It was still a thing to mix. I mean, we weren't totally in the, it was everywhere was you were seeing kids in mixed families. Especially
on a sitcom, on a TV show set in like the Midwest in Wisconsin.
Right. You know? Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, this being ABC, it's Disney owned, it's got to be family friendly. So it was kind of throwing in stuff. And the thing I think about with family friendly is this show, pardon me, dear listener, but these are the two horniest married couple you'll ever see on television.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember they were just all over each other all the time on the show. And I think they're making a point for that. Like, we got Suzanne Summers and Patrick Duffy. They ooze charisma. They're both very attractive. Who are we kidding? Put Frank in boxers as much as possible. Because I'm pretty sure that was the case almost all the time. Every episode, they were in the same bed, and he was always wearing boxers and a tank top at least once.
it's like what we talked about with Who's the Boss. You have Tony Danza. You're going to have him without a shirt on. You're going to do that because it's Tony Danza and you want to see that.
Right. Yeah.
Patrick Duffy, put him in a tank top and boxer shorts as often as you can.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're gonna pull in a demographic with that.
He had, I mean, the blue collar thing, he oozed it. He played that character perfectly. Apparently he grew up in Montana, so I'm imagining he's had his fair share of hard working.
Right.
No, he grew up wearing a tool belt every so often.
Yeah. He plays it as such. It's not a foreign thing to him. He's that guy. But yeah, so this show, let me see, it ran from September 91 to August of 97, which is longer than I remember it running.
Yeah.
But that's great. But that was on ABC. That was picked up by CBS through 97 to 98. They got it because ABC was done with it. The ratings were dropping and dropping and dropping. Yeah. CBS tried to take it, retool it, do it, with one more season, didn't get anywhere. I think Cody had left by then, and Cody was actually a big draw for the show.
He was a big draw. He had been fired by then.
Right, because he got in trouble for domestic abuse.
Yeah, so Sasha Mitchell, who played Cody, he had gotten in some trouble for a domestic issue with his, at the time, wife. And that wasn't what got him fired. What got him fired was a probation violation because he didn't go to couples counseling.
Right.
That was court ordered, and he got fired for that. Now, there's been a lot of stories over the years. I don't know enough about the situation to say one way or the other. It doesn't look good to have domestic battery and whatnot. He went on record a few years later. He did an interview talking about it. And his thing was that it stemmed from his wife at the time was in a bad way with drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was stepping in because she was abusing the kids. Whether or not, I mean, grain of salt because it's him telling his side of the story, but he now had, he got full custody of the kids after everything
4 kids
shook out.
I think it says something that he ended up with full custody like that.
So,
yeah, something was there because they rarely will land in the husband's favor for full custody with her limited like that. Usually the courts are more,
especially when there's domestic abuse of any sort involved. But
so it sounds to me like whatever happened legally in court was convincing enough that they were like, okay, dude can have the kids, which is a big deal. If you're talking about abuse and they're giving the kids, big deal.
Doesn't change the fact that, he was definitely, something happened.
Yeah, sure.
But it seems as though because he's kept working. And I think that means something too. Like, he seems to be a decent guy.
Sure. And I mean, that's all we've got to go on, and we'll just have to take it as it is. Right. If you run into him at a con or something, just be cool. That's all I can say.
Well, especially given that he is an actual black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah, also, yes. That was another important fact that's pertinent to this episode, the Karate Kid. This show was not without its additional troubles, though. He was one trouble, but Brandon Call also got in trouble in a traffic altercation and was shot in both arms. Made a full recovery, so that's good. But yeah, there's some trouble around this. And what I thought was funny is that looking into these actors, I went through all of them that were in the main cast. Only 3 are like currently acting. Like there's Patrick Duffy, Suzanne Summers, and Christine Lakin are still like involved in the industry. Maybe Sasha Mitchell is, and I missed where he was still doing stuff.
I mean, he's still doing a little bit here and there. Same with like Stacey Keenan, I think had acted in like 2017. But Angela Watson basically just stopped acting after this.
Yeah.
Brandon Call retired from acting after this series wrapped up.
Yeah.
Because him getting shot, the traffic altercation was like 2 years before the show ended.
Right.
But I was surprised by that because he did a lot of acting prior to this. He had been in Blind Fury with Rutger Hauer. He had been in a few movies. He'd been in a few TV shows. Did this and then just retired.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him.
I mean, this show ran 160 episodes. They probably made decent money for the time they were on it. Yeah. You know, and I'm hoping they're all doing great wherever they are today. Stacey Keenan's teaching law in Southwestern University. So that's cool.
The one other one I want to bring up is JT's best friend in the show. Jason Marsden.
Jason Marsden,
he was great.
Yeah, and Max Goof. If you're a fan of the Goof, he's been to Dragon Con a few times. When I've gone, Jason Marsden. It seems like an all right guy.
Yeah. They recently had him on their little podcast talking about it too. And
that's cool. Funny. I need to look that podcast up because I would be interested in checking it out. But this episode, we get a little bit into it. It is Look, all right, audience, I'm going to level with you. I didn't take great notes, but there's really a reason I didn't take great notes, and that's because there's not a lot of content in this episode of this premiere of season 4. This is very, I swear, it's a 3.5 minute training montage in the middle that took up most of the episode. So we'll do what we can with it. It'll probably be brief as it can be. Our cold open was kind of cool, though. I love when Frank is in the house doing anything to improve it or make it better. And this was when they were just yelling at each other. I don't think he'd started installing anything.
He hadn't yet,
because tickled me.
The kids came home and he was cooking, making like, I'm guessing chili, maybe.
Yes. Something gross, according to Carol. That's all I know. Something that
I don't know if it was gross or if it was just hot, like spicy.
She made it look like it was maybe oversalted or undersalted is the look I was getting out of it. Like, this is going to be a lot.
He tried.
Yeah.
Bless him, he tried.
But we had a joke where it was JT, call your the rest of the family down for dinner, and expecting JT to go upstairs and get them, but instead he just yells, "It's time for dinner!" Like just belting it out, and then they all just have this chaotic yell fest that was akin to an Abbott and Costello skit.
Did anyone relate to that? Because I absolutely did. Yeah, like that feels like the type of thing that would have happened in my house, where it's like, hey, call your sister for dinner, and just standing in the room yelling for my sister.
It's happened with my own freaking kids. It's like, go get your brothers. They yell, got it.
It's so funny because I grew up in a house we didn't yell a lot. Like no one yelled. But when I'd go over to my wife's house when we were dating, she was my girlfriend at the time. Like if somebody was upstairs, we didn't have stairs. I always lived in ranch houses. That probably made a big difference.
Yeah.
You could easily go get someone without going up the stairs. And now I live in a house where we're yelling back and forth all the time. And I hate it. I hate yelling. I hate it. But it's the easiest way to get my message over there without like down the stairs.
Well, now you need an intercom.
That's I know, clearly, because that's what Frank goes to install. Which I loved because it played music everywhere, you know.
Right.
These were popular. I don't know how popular they are now, but I've never been in a house big enough to need one. But what he installed is basically what they look like because my wife's old house had one that didn't work, but it was there.
My uncle had a house with one.
Yeah, you press the button, you talk to each other. That was pretty great. But the meat of this episode is really around Mark, because Mark gets picked on at school, obviously. Because he's a super nerd, and you know, nerds are not appreciated at any time. You get appreciated when you get older and you find other nerds. But in school, no, there's no love for nerds. Never will be. So Mark wants to take karate, and he comes home. I believe he comes home with his mom, with Carol, and they had been to karate. And Carol's like, that teacher was terrible.
Before that, though, because when he first talks about signing up for the class, Carol is like doing Al's hair or whatever, and Cody comes in, because this is where Cody comes in with the asking about the is bologna okay if it's green and fuzzy?
Yeah. I love
And what
when
I
they
love is-
answer it.
Yes, I love the answer. And then his response is, I'm going to pay for that later. So he's already done the thing.
Yeah.
But at that point is when Mark comes down the stairs with all of his karate movements.
That's
in
And
his
he's
gi.
got the gi on, and it's
Yep.
like
Yeah.
signed up. I'm ready.
Yeah, he's ready to go. But then they go to the karate thing, come home.
Yep.
And it was Carol is the mommest mom. Precious,
yeah.
precious baby boy can't be in that class. I'm sitting there thinking, oh, she's just ruining him. She's ruining him. This
And I
is
loved
the
how
worst.
she was like, I'll go make your bubble bath. I know how you like that. And Cody's just like, dude.
Yeah.
And Mark's like, I know.
Because Cody knows. Where is Frank in all this? I feel like Frank could have easily been a part of this conversation. Like, you can't. You're gonna kill him socially. He's done for. But Cody, largely this episode, I think, was written because Sasha Mitchell was a black belt in Taekwondo, and this is an easy episode to write if you're just effectively recreating the Karate Kid and literally titling the show "The Karate Kid." So we don't really have to work.
Mix a Rocky in there, yeah.
Mix a little bit of Rocky in there, exactly. But we do get Cody doing some really cool moves in this show. Like, I was watching it and I thought I had read that he was a black belt, but Stephanie, who actually did take karate, was watching him training Mark and doing like the kicks and stuff. She's like, yeah, that dude knows what he's doing. Like, he's well trained.
Yeah.
At this point, so this would have been season 4. So it was like 1995, 96.
Yeah.
He had already been in, I think, 3 kickboxer movies by this point, because he had starred in the sequel and then he came back for like 3 and 4.
Right.
So he had already been doing martial arts films by this point in his career as well.
Nice. It's a big time for martial arts movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we did some backyard karate on the AstroTurf. John, I love these sets. They're just
so great.
Is they're inside. It's on stage, but they try, and it's a lot of fun. Don't even worry about the illusion.
No.
And we get them doing a little bit of karate. I don't remember a whole lot about the different moves they were making and stuff, but it was mostly just to kind of show. There
wasn't a whole lot of moves shown.
Yeah.
You know? I love the whole hand slapping thing at the beginning because I remember playing that game in school.
Oh yeah.
Yep, the hand slap game with Al, I'm terrible at. My son beats me every time.
Yeah, I remember there was 2 different versions. I remember one with your palms up, palms down, and then I remember another one where you'd hold your hands like in front of you praying, and the other person had their hands by their head, and they would slap you that way.
Oh, I feel like you'd have a better shot at passing with that. Like, I am not fast enough with the palms on palms technique. Like, it just doesn't work for me. Because if they fake you out and you move, they get a free slap. Right. Yeah, it's the way we used to play it anyway. But
it was great. And then for him to bust out the theme from Rocky, it's like, I didn't want to have to do this, but and he just hits and like, I'm sorry, if you can't get going to the theme from Rocky, if that doesn't get your blood pumping, you don't have a soul.
No, there's something wrong with you.
That is the most inspirational music you will ever hear in your life.
And I love, not only did they do this song, they did them training and running through town or whatnot and had some steps to run up.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't a lot of steps, but they were enough.
Not a lot.
They were up and down the steps.
It wasn't going up to the museum in Philly, but...
It was fun to watch, though, because you got to see that evolution of Mark, like, able to do more and then eventually outrunning Cody and making him keep up.
That was wild.
I thought that was fun. It was a really good use of the song. I'm really excited they were even able to stream this episode, considering that song was in it. Usually music is what holds these TV shows back, and we got it. But yeah, it was a cool training montage. You got to have them. There's a few different gags sprinkled throughout, but for the most part, it was a pretty straightforward training montage. If I'm remembering it right. But yeah, so then we get to the karate competition, right? We just go straight to the tournament, where Frank and Carol show up to support Mark, and Cody's there with Mark, and he has to fight the one kid, but turns out the kid that he's got to fight is a student of the coach that was a butthole to him that Carol didn't like. Yep. And turns out the guy's actually a terrible butthole. And it's sitcom TV, so they're gonna play him up like no human being would talk to a kid like this,
right?
But especially in front of everyone. But here we are in sitcom TV, talking about go home to your mommy. You know, like I hated him so much, and it was like the perfect guy to play that part.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
Hair,
He was
face.
I also love the setup of the joke of Carol just being absolutely, totally scared that Mark's going to get hurt and it's going to be terrible. And Frank's there just kind of like, you got to let him do it. It's okay. And, you know, Patrick Duffy acting as well as he can manages to do it where you're like, yes, I'm trying to comfort my wife, but I know this kid's going to get clobbered anyways.
Yes. There's something to be said about acting by acting, like trying to act a certain way. And we know you're acting that way, but you're also an actor. It's like Inception level kind of stuff. I don't understand it.
I think it's one of those things where the critics missed it, just how subtly amazing of an actors these two people are.
Yeah. I
really
100%.
anchored the show.
Yeah.
and their chemistry too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And did it with scripts that weren't always stellar, but they pulled out great performances out of it. Like, this is a really simple concept. And it's still... I was still invested, you know, it still pulled me in because they were, which was pretty great. But Mark goes on to fight this kid, does a pretty dang great job. We get a couple points. Of course, we're going to tie it up 2-2, and the third point is anybody's game. I really liked Cody, you know, coaching him and Mark listening. That was kind of cool because Cody was letting him know, hey, when he comes in for that sidekick, he opens up. Just watch for it, and you got your chance. And that was really cool, I thought. And then, you know, of course, Mark ends up losing, right? He didn't get that final point, which I appreciated. And it also played to the Rocky theme a bit.
Exactly.
It did, yeah.
Because we all know Rocky doesn't win, but the point wasn't the win. The point was to go 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what Mark does here. He proves that he's going to stick it out. He can take the hits and he can still get up and...
Well, it's that heartfelt moment of the sitcom episode where he's like, "I'm sorry, I let you down because you coached me and I still lost." And it's for Cody to be like, "Dude, you did what you set out to do. You earned respect."
Yeah,
right.
You know, it was a cool moment.
Other kid have to really work for that win.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and learned a lot along the way. I mean, it's a huge deal. But then, I mean, did you guys see this climax coming? I know it was hidden. Battle between
this one? No.
You didn't, yeah. No, totally saw it coming. Everybody knew. Everybody knew.
Oh yeah.
From the second they walked in, that this was going to happen. The bad coach runs his mouth at Mark, and Cody is trying to be the Mr. Miyagi of like, we don't have to deal with this. This is fine. Just move on.
I love this part of it too. Like, he's like, Mark, best thing to do is just walk away. And then the other coach is like, oh yeah, pushes him. It's like, the second best thing is to kick his butt.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great. This would never happen. Like, that coach would never. This is it's the karate. What do you do? What are you doing? He would never.
Well, number one, the coach would never be that way. But the other part of it is that ref would have been like, no.
Yeah. What are you doing?
We've got a tournament for these kids.
Could you not be what you're doing?
Take care of it outside or something.
Yeah. Or I'm going to take your trophy away because this is ridiculous.
Exactly.
It'd been that simple. And yes, A Stigma in the chat says it bugged me that Cody didn't take off his shoes.
Oh
Yes.
Yeah. It bothered me so much. And I don't even do karate. I don't even like karate. I don't want to put my bare feet on a sweaty mat. But I'm bothered by Cody not doing it because you're supposed to. So yeah, they go and they end up battling each other, doing some karate and some actual impressive moves. There's some high kicks and some stuff going on. It's really good. Cody's a massive human being. Like,
yes, he is.
He is a tall guy.
And you don't think about like how, because he and Patrick Duffy are both about 6'2" is what they're listed.
Really?
And they just tower over everyone else in this cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 2 feet taller than everybody. It's amazing.
And I get that, like, Mark is not the actor playing Mark is not a tall guy, and he's young, but all of them, like, just towering over everybody.
And then you combine that with Sasha Mitchell knowing Taekwondo, which is a really kick-heavy martial art.
Yes.
and they used it a lot.
Oh yeah.
In this show, like there's a couple other episodes I thought about when you named this one. I was like, oh, is this the one where he does this or he does that? And then it was this one. I was like, oh, okay, this one, got it.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, we end the show. He ends up taking out the coach, embarrassing him for the most part. He did a throw, right? Didn't he throw him over his shoulder?
Yep.
At the end, that was what he finally got.
That was the final thing. Yeah, my wife was like, I can throw people because she's thrown me before, and it's terrifying. I was explaining to my son, I was like, you don't know what out of control is until someone is hurling you over their shoulder, which your mom has done to me at least one time, and it was very scary. So yeah, that was the end of that. It was great. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, I love how Mark starts talking trash to the
yes, that was the best part
at the end, and Cody has to pick him up,
and moved him out
as he's talking trash still the whole way.
Yeah, getting picked up and carried off like a sack of potatoes.
Yep.
It's great because that kid probably weighed 65 pounds, so just light as a feather. So that was our main storyline, and then there was a really cool tag at the end playing back to the intercom system, which just tickled me to no end. And like I said, Frank's going to be in boxers and a tank top at some point in the show.
Yeah. We needed to tick that off the list, but I liked the callback because after Frank installs the intercom for the first time, and they use it, and then he's like, oh yeah, and it can play music too, and it's really cool. And he starts playing the music, and then it fades out, and then it starts getting like police band.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't happen, but that's fine.
Right. Fine.
And it was a funny joke. So then to call back to it malfunctioning, where they're just in bed asleep, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, mariachi music just begins blasting through the house.
And I can't remember if it was Carol or Frank that said it, but one of them, because is that the intercom? No, it's the mariachi band playing downstairs.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it was so. It's Carol saying, no, there's a Mexican wedding in our living room right now. Yes, it's the intercom.
It was great. And then Frank's trying to figure out how to turn it off, and he can't do it. It's just so loud. Everyone's waking up at this point, yelling about it. And he goes to his closet and grabs a golf club and just beats it to death. And of course, it doesn't stop it because that would be too easy. So he has to beat it several times until it finally quits and yanks it out of the wall.
Although my two favorite things in this sequence is Frank pulling the stuffed dragon out of the
what
closet.
Was that?
Because he's like pulling some stuff, and then he finds that, and he very carefully and gingerly takes it and sets it down, and then gets his golf clubs out. But
like that thing had a purpose that I don't know.
That's probably a gag from.
It's got to be from something prior that we just have no memory of.
It was either that or Carol and Frank have some weird kink they're playing.
Also could be true.
With the way this was written, yeah, absolutely.
But then the other good part of that is, of course, he wrecks the intercom, so they all go back to yelling.
Yeah.
And it's, thanks, all right, good night. And they're all starting to yell good night, and then it's like Cody yelling good night, John Boy. Yeah. And I was like, the Waltons ending got me.
Good night, Grandma. Good night, Mary Ellen. Good night, John Boy. I laughed so hard at that. It was a great joke.
That slayed me.
Yeah. I don't know how many people remember the Waltons. Like at this point, I think people just yell that, like, good night, John Boy, so often at like camp and stuff, when you go to bed.
The context of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody knows. It's
absolutely.
It's The Shining. Here's Johnny that people watch, and they're like, oh yeah, here's Johnny's from The Shining. You're like, no, it's from Carson. And The Shining is where they got that from Carson. Yeah, it's a whole deal. I'm sure it's generations of Goodnight John Boys. I have no idea where it comes from.
Yeah, probably.
But that was step by step. What did you guys think, Audie?
Oh, it was just good to watch. Good to see it again, and I don't care what the critics said. This was a fun show. Like, it was just fun. Like, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't, all these sitcoms have their special episodes here and there, but this one was just fun. It was just, popcorn.
Yep. How about you, Travis?
Yeah, same. I mean, it is what I remember the show being, which is largely inoffensive, funny without being like ridiculously laugh out loud funny, but it had its moments, and it gave me the fond memories of like sitting around watching it.
Yeah, I watched this with my family the other night, and everybody got a kick out of it. had a good time. It's not one I think I'm gonna pursue. You know, like I wouldn't go, boy, I can't wait to watch another episode. But I loved every bit of watching the intro music, which has always lived in my brain rent free. Like I wanted to ride that roller coaster as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody did. The song is great, even though I didn't understand half the words growing up until I got subtitles. I was like, oh, that's what they say.
But it's a very catchy tune.
It is.
And this was kind of a neat episode because it's a season premiere. And this was the 4th season. They reshot parts of that opening with the kids being a little bit older because they'd all aged by that point, 3 or 4 years. So they and the thing I read in the trivia was that JT is the only one doing the same activity he did in the original opening, which is the bell, except that in the original opening it was like Carol and one of the daughters standing around him, and this time it was just 2 random people.
Oh, okay. Girls. Yeah, because he gets the big teddy bear or whatever it is.
I like that they did that they reshot the opening after a couple of years to kind of show, but keep the same thing. Like we have the consistency, but also update it a little bit. And that song is great. And I mean, this was a Miller Boyette production, which is a production company that we have watched a few shows of theirs. Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy, Bosom Buddies, Full House, Perfect Strangers, Family Matters. That was all this same production company.
Yeah. And you can see all that DNA throughout the intros in particular. I think when you think of an introduction to a show, they're the ones that templated the 90s, late 80s introductions. And it works. I mean, at this point, it's been memed to death. Too Many Cooks, if you ever want to just have your brain warp.
Oh, yeah.
But they played off of this and then just went, I've only made it through about 4 minutes of that before I gave up and was like, I can't anymore.
But I agree with you, Stephen, in that this isn't one of those that I'm going to rush out to watch more of. It didn't, like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely enjoyable. It's fun. But it doesn't have that same memorable thing that makes me want to go back and watch Perfect Strangers again, or more Family Matters, or when we talked about like Friends and watching Friends. Those shows, for some reason, made more of an impression. This is like the fast food of sitcoms.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it at all. It fills the gap. It does what you want, but you're not necessarily like, man, I remember that McDonald's hamburger I had. Like I don't. You don't remember that.
Yeah. It's the part of TGIF that's the bread before you get to the actual meal. You're enjoying it, but largely it's just filler.
Yeah.
I could go back if I wanted to, but I don't really have any desire. It's not like Family Matters. I feel like I could watch more of this show. I'm glad that it was there. I'm glad I got to enjoy it again with you guys.
Yeah.
But it's fine where it's at. Maybe one day, but I'm not in a hurry. But yeah, so anyway, that is it for this. I believe Amy had a show she was going to pick for us, but I don't remember what it is or if she told us. She
does. I know what it is because it is in our spreadsheet if you ever check that.
Oh, it is in our I forgot we had a spreadsheet.
So Amy we are off next week because Amy is gone next week as well.
Okay.
So we will be back with a full episode in 2 weeks. And when we do, Amy is bringing us a season premiere of COLUMBO.
Oh, snap.
And it is COLUMBO season 7, episode 1, entitled Try and Catch Me.
Oh, that is great. What is that?
And I can't wait because, man, I love me some COLUMBO.
Did she have it streaming anywhere on the spreadsheet?
It is available via Peacock and Tubi.
Perfect.
I think Prime as well, but I did text her to ask, and she said that Prime had episodes out of order.
Okay.
So you got to search for Try and Catch Me there, or just go to Tubi or Peacock and you'll find it.
All right. COLUMBO, Try and Catch Me, season 7, episode 1.
That's the one.
Awesome. Well, until then, you can email us over there at thosewerethedays@gmail.com. We'd love to receive your emails. Did we get any emails, speaking of, now that we're...
I will check. I don't believe so, but I will check.
I don't think we did either. But
do we get any responses on the socials there, Audie?
I did not.
Okay. No, but see, everybody's thinking, well, I've seen the show, but I don't have any strong feelings.
Hey, we did get an email.
Oh,
we
sweet.
got an email from our good friend Sean Astigma.
Yeah, I know.
Hey
that guy.
y'all.
Who's that guy?
I remember watching this show as a kid, and back then, this was my first time seeing Patrick Duffy and Suzanne Summers, since I didn't yet know about Dallas or Three's Company.
Mm-hmm.
I also think I remember Mark Foster, Christopher Castile, better as Ted Newton in Beethoven and Beethoven's Second. Yes.
Yep.
That's right.
It was fun to revisit the show, and I wouldn't mind watching more episodes sometime in the near future. Glad to have you all back after your break. Missed you. Sincerely, Astigma.
You're the best,
Aw.
Astigma. Thank you so much for emailing us. That's great. I love those emails. They just make me happy.
And Astigma, I'm going to say this in case I haven't said it anywhere else for you. I was on a panel at Dragon Con on the creator economy. And on that panel, one of the other panelists by the name of Panda mentioned as being a micro streamer on Twitch and saying that every time they had very few people that would watch the streams, but they had their one super dedicated Canadian fan. And I was like, I have one of those too. And that is you, Astigma.
Oh, that's
So
great.
we appreciate you. Thank you for the email. Again, the email is thosewere-the-days@gmail.com. Send us emails. Be like Astigma. We want to hear from you.
Yep.
Be more like Astigma. Yeah, and you can also send us voicemails at voicecast.app/thosewere-the-days if you want to use your voice. It's really easy. I've sent them before. You just click a button, you record the thing, you press go, and it's off, and it's to the people who want to hear it. So give that a try. Also, you can find us all over at Blue Sky. thosedayshow.bsky.social, I believe is that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look in the show notes of the podcast, there is a list you can go to find all our individual socials where you can talk to us. And you can, of course, always join the conversation at twodorks.net/Discord, where you can join our Discord, where a bunch of jolly people will say morning dorks to you every day. And it's great. And we love having conversations over there. It's a lot of fun. But until next week, or no, 2 weeks from now, with Columbo and season 7, episode 1, for me, for Audie, for Travis, and for Amy, who is absent, but I'm sure would love to say goodbye to you. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, little dudes.